So here's an update on the possum babies. It's the next day. They've all eaten a couple of good meals for me. And now they are snuggling. I got them partly on a heating pad here. Always putting a blanket in between the heating pad and them, because they will try and burrow. You don't want them to get too hot. They can get burned from laying directly on the heating pad, especially if they're too young to where they can't move themselves away. Fortunately, these guys are able to, and I've noticed a couple of times, because I've only got the heating pad under about half of their little tank, that they move themselves back and forth. If they get warm, they go to the other side, and then when they get cooler, they go to the heating pad side and burrow under these couple of little blankets I've got in there. You'll notice color on some of them. So this one is got some pink right there. That is just a little bit of like a non-toxic nail polish, so that way I can tell them apart. This one doesn't have nail polish on it. That's poop. They're kind of messy still. I wiped them down a little bit, but you always got to be careful not to overhandle them, because stress is a big factor when you're working with wildlife. They can get stressed out easily. So you don't ever want to do too much at once. Just kind of start with the most critical things and work your way from there. Like yesterday, I started with warming them up and then picking off fly eggs. One of them, a couple of them had them just randomly on their belly. And then this one, actually, I think, yeah, this one, because this one doesn't have any nail polish color. This one is the blank one. Has a cut on his knee and also kind of a little injury on his toe there. So there was some flies, some opportunistic flies that laid eggs on them. So I cleaned those off. That was priority number one, and then getting them warm. Next step was to hydrate them. So they all got an injection of some IV fluids, but you give them sub-Q underneath their skin here. They all got that last night. Give them some electrolytes, give them some fluid, and you bypass the GI tract, so that way they don't necessarily get as sick. If you feed a wild animal too soon or before it's warmed up, they can get very sick. Their body doesn't digest it, and they get bloated, and it's bad news. Bad news bears, bad news possums. So first they got hydrated, and then late last night they got their first meal of the formula mixture. And they took that pretty well. And then early this morning they got another one. And I'm just letting them sleep right now, because sleep is also very important to healing and to growing and all of that blah blah blah. So right now they're sleeping incredibly cutely, might I add. And yeah, and then I'll feed them again later. Help them go potty, because they still need a little help with that. And try and clean them up a little bit more. And they're in a pretty small tank right now, just so I can keep close eyes on them. Nobody falls, nobody gets stuck on anything. But once they're starting to feel better, once they're hydrated and they've got lots of calories in their system, I'll switch them to a bigger tank with some more stuff to climb on and some more fun stuff. But for now, they're just hanging out in this tiny one. Just got some water spots on it every time I clean it. And when I weigh them, because I weigh them every day, I'll weigh them every day and feed them and all that, they get transferred. That's their old one that I gotta clean out and empty. So then they go back and forth. There is a lid, just in case anybody decides to try and climb out. And yeah, that is baby possum update for now. Thanks for watching.